Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty crazy news, and crazy enough that I'm actually back at my little apartment over here to go make this video because it's actually kind of big and kind of, well, I would say both good and bad. More so in regards to probably the consumers, such as all of you guys out here, that are hopefully going to have a lot of stuff fixed if this actually goes through in regards to PlayStation 5s. Because like I mentioned, you guys can probably tell by the title, PlayStation and Sony themselves are literally getting sued. They're literally in a lawsuit right now, and I'm going to talk about that and talk about how it's kind of a good thing, at least in my opinion, depending on how it kind of goes and plays on out. But as you guys know, I'm kind of like in this weird mix of sometimes at home, sometimes in office. So we've been all over the place for uploads. So whenever I have an upload like this, I guess just bear with me as we're kind of going and chilling. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notification on as well. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video because it is hot as heck. Here in Dallas, we have the Amazon links down below. We have been seeing emails, so make sure you guys sign on up. The Twitter and Twitch room down below. We got the Weeble, we got the Targets, and all that good stuff. And let's go dive in the video. So, all this kind of weird setup aside, we actually have now been seeing a brand new report coming out in regards to Sony. So literally the PlayStation itself, this is in regards for the PlayStation, is now involved in, once again, another lawsuit. All these big companies, the Nintendos, Xbox, Microsofts, PlayStations, even Amazons, etc., are essentially having millions of dollars for them being spent every year to make sure that everything is good in terms of their production, in terms of making sure their lawsuits are frivolous, making sure they get canceled or even shown up in court. And this is probably one of the another ones on the list, but it's still kind of a somewhat good, valid claim. So with this, let's go talk about it. We also have an article. It's literally over here from Law Street Media. Kind of just reminds me of Wall Street Media. I can see it. I can see what they were going for with it. Gamers now say the PlayStation 5 was literally plagued with defect in a huge class action lawsuit against Sony. Literally, somewhat more on the breaking news when I saw it, I'm like, oh my god. So as of right now, an Illinois woman sued Sony Corporation on America on behalf of herself and a class of individuals who purchased defective PlayStation 5 consoles manufactured and sold by Sony, alleging that they suddenly shut down mid-game. So, kind of the big issue, and this actually fun enough even happened to me. If you guys don't know the kind of origin story here for your boy Scrubbing, on YouTube at least, I've always done Twitch, follow Twitch, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to YouTube, I actually had my PlayStation 5 fully break. And it was kind of one of the very first, at least PlayStation 5 related videos, and I'm in the restock for God knows how long. I probably made a mistake. I opened up a weird wormhole for my future, my life. But I guess now because I might be in Dallas, I couldn't tell you. But when it comes to that stuff, I actually have that same issue. My console got fully 100% bricked. Could not turn on, could not run a game, and it was, well, pretty bad. Thankfully, though, it was within the warranty time, and thankfully Sony did go and honor it, and thankfully I just got a brand new one, and ever since I got that, there was no issues. But we have seen many different folks out here actually have similar vibes, where they're like, hey, I want to get my PlayStation 5. Why is it broken? Why is it messed up? What's going on here? And with all that stuff, we've been seeing issues. It happens. We just have to roll with the punches. It happens. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but a good example is probably the Nintendo side, where sometimes these lawsuits actually turned out well. If you guys remember, Nintendo actually was sued in regards to the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons themselves were they were iffy. But basically, for them, they had a mass big class action lawsuit, and that basically made Nintendo have to reformat how they deal with the Joy-Cons themselves. So, when it comes to all that stuff, they basically have to offer a chance for them to go and fix all these Joy-Cons, because it did kind of seem like it was actually proven to be a Nintendo issue. Now, when it comes to the PlayStation 5, it's definitely more on the middle side because I have had issues. I have seen many people throughout the years have issues. And I always want to push this. If you guys ever have an issue day 1 or day 300, please contact Sony. So even if it's a small issue, it happens once every 10 times. You never know if it's bigger. You never know if it's hardware. You never know if there's I don't know, what if there's a bug, a literal cockroach or something like that inside your console. You just never know. So if you guys ever have issues, please be on top of it, or just try to sue Sony what's going on over here. The complaint says that Sony is liable to its customers who allege they would not have paid as much as they did for the video game console had they known about the defect. Now, that's a little bit of a stretch, mainly because you don't have to buy it. And sometimes there are issues. It happens. I'd say it's a 50-50. Mainly because if these things are console breaking and you have to deal with that and go through all the stuff, it is annoying, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. I'm sure almost all of you guys are watching this video at some point. You guys have probably had a chance to go and see that in general, there's probably a moment out there where your console is messed up, or like say your food was messed up, or your food delivery was messed up, or whatever it may have been. And well, it happens, dude. It happens. So I'm more of like the go with the flow. As long as Sony fixes it on my end, it's fine. I'm not really out there to go and sue Sony themselves, but some people are out there, and it is a big enough issue that, well, it's in like the lawsuit media. So according to the lawsuit, Sony's PlayStation 5 division touted in November 2020 release of its PS5s as the biggest console launch of all time. More than 4 million units sold by January 2021, and more than 19 have been sold to date worldwide. Despite its success, the complaint contends that the console harbors a defect that caused it to suddenly crash and power down, which, once again, we have actually seen reports of this. Like, there actually is some merit in regards to this huge lawsuit. Despite Sony's representations about the PS5 speed and performance, the plaintiff says the defect materially interferes with the user's gameplay and enjoyment of the PS5, which, I mean, like, it's weird. I would just say just send it to Sony and fix it, and then you can avoid having a lawsuit. I mean, unless you want to try to get a big payday. You want to what? If they get sued and I can get an extra, free game off the top of it, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not opposed. I had issues myself. I had to talk to Sony, whatever. But it does kind of seem a little bit of a stretch. But sometimes lawsuits actually have more legs than we expect, and at the end of the day, we see it, we're like, ooh. It is. But I would say, like, if people had issues and it's been big enough, and we've been seeing it on like Reddit, Twitter, all throughout the past 2 years, I mean, there is a little bit of legs to it. So in addition, once a user is able to turn their PS5 back on, they are warned that the manner in which the console is powered down can damage the overall system. So, I mean, that's just kind of probably more of a warning system. We're not really sure how in-depth that actually is. But I would also go and stand by, too, that at the end of the day, like, that is true. It's kind of like if you keep on turning it down, or you have like these, like, maybe it messes up with the power supply, maybe it messes with the GPU, maybe it messes with the fans. Like, we never know. Like, if Sony themselves have the warning, there's probably a reason why the warning itself is there. So there is, like I said, it's a little bit of a stretch. You guys can kind of give your thoughts and comments down below, but like, it does make sense. I mean, like, I'll give them a little bit. Like, we've had issues. People have issues, so we'd have to kind of go and see. So it is, basically for that one, they're also warned, as I mentioned, that the manner in which their consoles powered down can damage the overall system. Consequently, the filing says that users are often forced to downgrade versions of the PS5 games to PS4 versions to avoid the issue. And I'm sure that, once again, might be another part too, is that a lot of these folks out here may just want to not have to deal with that. I mean, I myself, I don't care. I'll roll with it. It's fine. But on the part two, we'd probably see a lot of folks out here who are like, well, I thought I was playing the PlayStation 5, and there's a PlayStation 5 version. Why can't I play the PS5 version? Like, I can kind of see the thought process. Like, I can see why people would be upset. Now, is it a stretch? Yes. Do I personally care? No. Do you guys care? Leave a comment down below. I'm actually kind of curious. But there is, like, at least a little bit of, like, stuff where I'm like, you're not wrong. I'm sure some lawyers probably making $1 bajillion off this, even no matter where it goes, but still. So ultimately, the complaint accuses Sony of depriving gamers of the benefit of the bargain. It seeks to certify both a nationwide class of PS5 purchases and an Illinois subclass. The suit state claims under the Illinois, which is where I'm actually from, Consumer Fraud and Deceptive Business Practices Act, as well as the maternally identical consumer fraud statutes, and for breach of their implied warranty of merchantability and unjust enrichment. This all actual plaintiff is now represented by the McGuire Law PC. So, I would actually love to go and hear what you guys have to think on this one. Lawsuits happen all the time. That's why I'm even in here, because this is some exciting stuff. But at the same time, sometimes they do have a little bit of legs. As I've mentioned, I've had issues, but they got fixed. Whatever. I'm sure a lot of you guys may have had issues too. Like I said, like maybe a server example is probably one of the best ones. But when it does come to stuff and vibes and everything, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm kind of curious if this actually goes anywhere, because this would actually probably affect anyone who does have a PlayStation 5 if you guys opt on in. And for some odd reason, Illinois just loves actually suing people. I don't know why. I really don't. I really truly don't. But I've been probably part of like 5 class action lawsuits because they all, like, people like steal data and stuff. I'm like, well, I mean, if you give me a random paycheck from Facebook, I'm okay with that. So, kind of my overall thoughts. It has a little bit of legs to it. It kind of makes sense. I can see where they're coming from. Do I think it might get thrown out in court because they do have a warranty system in place and, like, basically just always talk to Sony and they send a new console? I'd say probably, but I'd be kind of curious to want to keep on watching this throughout the next few years and see if anything very intriguing pops up. A lot of us do have PS5s. We actually might be involved in it if you guys want to be, but at the same time, it's kind of maybe probably more so maybe have a claim or a proper issue with your console in the first place. So give me your thoughts. We also have all the Amazon links down below, Twitter and Twitch stream links down below. Definitely check on the Amazon itself with all the emails being sent on out. We also have the Target links down below. And as well, I just appreciate you guys all so much for watching. I'll see you guys maybe throughout today for more videos, and you guys are all beautiful and blessed, and I'll see you guys soon.